legend, businessman. Started out, you want to talk about starting out behind the eight ball. Some of you are watching right now, you're going, Ken, I come from a family of destruction, or I come from poverty, or I come from dysfunction, or I come from nothing. I can't see the dream. Well, let's talk about this American rapper, producer, entrepreneur. He dropped out of school, even though he was showing potential, got distracted in a rough neighborhood and environment. He decided to drop out of school and make money selling crack. Almost lost his life multiple times after being shot at. And it woke him up. It was in that moment of destruction and near death that he decided, I'm going to pursue music. So he goes after it. He goes on to be rejected by every major label in the country. By the way, if we've done these profiles of very successful people, do you notice, folks, that there's a consistent theme of rejection in these stories? So for those of you who are feeling down because you've been rejected, welcome to the party. That's the deal. I think that rejection alongside of failure, those are two different things. Failure is when you do something that doesn't go well. Rejection is when somebody doesn't give you a chance or a shot that you want. I don't know that you can be successful without some level of rejection and failure. So I would say those are the tickets to the, you know what I mean? Joe, you remember those little admit one little paper tickets we'd get when you go to the festivals when we were younger? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, here you go. Here's your failure ticket. Here's your rejection ticket. You're going to at least need one of these for success. It's just the price of admission. And the sooner we realize that, the easier it is to face it, and the easier it is to move forward through it. So every major label in the country said no. Finally, he said, by the way, this is my story as well. After being told by a bunch of radio people no, a bunch of TV people no, I said, all right, I'm going to create my own daggone platform. I'm going to create my own thing so that people can see what I've got to offer. So he did the same. Started producing his own music, started his own label, titled Rockefeller. You hip-hop fans now know who I'm talking about. He is, in fact, Jay-Z. But it wasn't a rocket ship ride of success after he started his own thing. It was still really hard. A lot of failure. Almost all the artists he had on his label ended up leaving Jay-Z to only release one album. They didn't quit, though. Eventually, he was asked to collaborate on Notorious B.I.G.'s posthumous album, Life After Death. That's when he started to get some notoriety. But he had fights with fellow artists and fights over whether or not the content had been ripped off. More and more failure, more and more hardship, but he stays with it. Now he's a billionaire. On fear, Jay-Z has said those who are successful overcome their fears and take action. Those who are not successful submit to those fears and live with regrets. You've heard me talk about regret a lot. On failure, he said, I won't lose. Because even when I'm defeated, there's a valuable lesson learned, so it evens up for me. Oh, I love that one. And another final quote on failure, Jay-Z says, you learn more in failure than you ever do in success. And he's absolutely right. You got to be able to embrace the failure and say, why did I fail? And what do I need to do to not do that again? You're already up on everybody else who likes to quit the first time they taste failure. It's a game changer. Fail quickly. As I've said, fail effectively. Fail consistently. That's the key. I'm serious. Every young person sitting around me, I'd sit there and go, look, whatever it is you're going after, figure out a way to fail quickly. Like, get to it pretty quick, fail. But when you do it, plan to fail so it's not a disaster. That's what I mean by fail effectively. Don't let your failure be life-threatening. It's like me riding a bike. I've told the story again. When my dad taught me to ride a bike, he put me on the bike and we rode on the grass. Why? My dad knew I was going to fail and spectacularly crash. But by putting me on the grass, I'm not going to break a limb and I'm going to have more skin after the wreck. So that's why my dad taught me to ride a bike on the grass. That's pretty smart. Fail effectively and then fail consistently. Once you master one thing, take on something else and fail at that. And before you realize it, you have failed forward and forward and forward and forward. And people are talking about you, about how awesome you are, and you're going, well, I've just kind of failed on purpose. I failed quickly, I failed effectively, and I failed consistently. And they're all talking about how I'm winning, and I'm just a big, giant failure. Yes, you are. We all are. But failure's not bad. Failure's good. Embrace it. Learn from it.